Good morning. The House will come to order. The pledge this morning will be said by Representative Jim Wilson from House District 60 in Salida, Colorado.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And just for the record, I did receive a certificate for doing this, so I appreciate that.
With unicorns and rainbows and things like that on it.
There you go. So let's, if you would please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which we stand, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Gregorio, please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt, Baisley, Benavides. Benavides? Bird. Bockenfeld. Buck. Buckner.
Present.
Puenteo. Caraveo. Carver. Catlin. Champion. Coleman. Cutter. Duran. Escar. Exum. Frolic. Garnett. Geithner. Gonzalez Gutierrez. Great. Herod. Representative Herod. Excused. Holtorf. Hooten. Representative Hooten. Excused. Humphrey. Jackson.
Here.
Jaquez Lewis. Kennedy. What? Kip. Kraft-Tharp. Landgraf. Larson. Liston. Montine. McCluskey. McKean. Mclaughlin. Melton.
Hey, Jerry. Morning. What's up?
Michelson Janae.
Present.
Mullica. Neville. Pelton. Ransom. Rich. Roberts. Sane. Sandridge. Singer. Representative Singer is excused. Sirota. Snyder. Soper. Sullivan. Tipper. Representative Tipper. Excused. Taton. Valdez A. Valdez D. Van Winkle. Weissman. Will. Representative Will. Oh, I got it. Williams. Wilson. Woodrow. Young. And Madam Speaker.
Are we waiting on a speaker? Yeah. 62 present. That's great.
With 62 present and 3 excused, we have a quorum. Representative McCluskey.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is such an honor, joy, and pleasure to serve with you.
Aww, it is an honor, a joy, and a pleasure to serve with you.
And so I'm done. I think all of you are as well. It has been such an emotional day, week, session, and I've run out of poems. I've been begging, but the one thing I have right now is Representative Wilson's inspiring words this morning. I have my love for all of you and the wonderful work that we have accomplished as a body. So, because I'm crying, you need to vote yes. Just this one time. Madam Speaker, I move that the reading of the journal of Friday, June 12th, be dispensed with and be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You all have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yay! All those opposed say no.
Give her a break.
I really think the ayes have it, Julie. Way to go. The motion passes. Aw. These are tough days, folks. All right, announcements and introductions. Representative Herod.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Would members of the House Judiciary Committee please come to the well? Members of the House Judiciary Committee, please come to the well. Come on down, House Judiciary Committee. Come on down. All right. Well, members of the House Judiciary Committee, come on down. If you forgot, if you're on the House Judiciary Committee, Blackenfeld, thank you. I don't see Soper.
I'm right here.
Oh, you're right here, right next to me. Sorry. That might have been, I don't know. Carver, great, good, awesome. Right here. So, we want to thank our amazing and illustrious chair who's worked so hard to get us through some of the longest calendars possible and out at mostly reasonable hours most of the time. Representative Weissman, you are an amazing judiciary chair. You do way too much research and work, but we would not be able to get the work done without you. We appreciate you. You continue to earn your name, Representative Wikipedia. We love you. Thank you so much for leading us. We have a little gift for you.
Thank you. That is so sweet, Representative Herod. Representative Weissman, thanks for all your service as the chair of Judiciary. Representative Soper.
Thank you, Speaker. And Chair Weissman, you know, you'd be an even better chair if you shared with us. But thank you so much.
I haven't even looked in there yet, but whatever it is, I am happy to share. We should probably get our work done first. Real quickly, thank you. I kind of wish this mask were bigger so it would cover whatever part of my face is probably turning red right now. But it's been an honor. I'm really proud of the work that this committee does. I'm going to make a lawyer joke here. I call us the Strict Scrutiny Committee. It's how I think every committee should be. And it's been an honor and a privilege, and I appreciate everybody who's been part of the long afternoons that we've had and everybody who's come before our committee. Don't believe everything you hear. We don't bite.
All right, any other announcements or introductions? Then that brings us to third reading of bills, final passage. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. Just a quick announcement on today. If you've noticed, because we're all part of, the calendar process, this calendar is much thinner than yesterday, right? Remember we started and it was really thick and now it's really thin. So thanks for everyone's work on that. We have third reading of bills. We have consideration of Senate amendments to House bills. There's I think at least one conference committee I know needs to meet. And then we have tributes. And we have a schedule for the tributes that I think are going to be distributed on everyone's desk. That looks like this. And then we have to kind of see what happens in the other chamber today to have a better understanding of when exactly we're going to be finished. So I've communicated with the minority leader. I know that the timing's sort of unclear, but we will keep communicating with each other about it. And once we get through the tributes, maybe at that point we can do another update on kind of where things stand and whether or not people have to wait around or can just go home. So that's what I know.
All right. Third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Gregorio, please read Senate Bill 222.
Senate Bill 222 by Senators Winter and Bridges, also Representatives Young and Will, concerning a grant program for small businesses affected by economic hardship caused by the COVID-19 pandemic that is financed by money received from the federal government pursuant to the CARES Act and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 222 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 222 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Let's see, who do we have up in the gallery? Representative Sullivan, how do you vote? Yes. Sullivan votes yes. Titone. Titone votes yes. Mclaughlin. Mclaughlin votes yes. Frolic. Yes. Frolic votes yes. Let's see, Representative Michelson-Janae.
Yes.
Michelson-Janae votes yes. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Kipp and Ransom. Please close the machine. With 65 aye votes, no votes, and Senate Bill 222 is passed. Co-sponsors. Let's see, Representatives Michelson-Janae, Jackson, Melton, Buckner, co-sponsor. Representative Mclaughlin, Titone, and Frolic, co-sponsor. All right, please close the machine. Please read the title of Senate Bill 28.
Senate Bill 28 by Senators Pedersen and Priola, also Representatives Buenteo and Herod, concerning measures to assist an individual's recovery from a substance use disorder in connection therewith making and reducing an appropriation.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 28 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 28 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Representative Titone, how do you vote? Titone votes yes. Mclaughlin. Mclaughlin votes yes. Frolic. Frolic votes yes. Sullivan. Sullivan votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know you had a, okay, so I don't know that we can, the House will stand in a brief recess. The House will come back to order. Members, we're going to proceed. Members, may I have your attention? We are proceeding with a vote as is. If the members who are working on the amendment want to, this had amendments on it, so it goes back to the Senate, they can have a conference committee, they can deal with it then. But once we've started the vote, we're sticking with the vote. That's the way it works. Those are the rules. Okay, so where was I? Representative Mclaughlin. Mclaughlin votes yes. Michelson Janae.
Yes.
Michelson Janae votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Tatone. Tatone votes yes. Let's see. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Tipper. And Duran. Please close the machine. With 42 aye votes, 23 no votes, Senate Bill 28 is adopted. Co-sponsors.
Madam Speaker.
Just a minute, okay. Representative Jackson, Michelson Janae, and Buckner co-sponsor. Any others? Was that Tatone? Okay, Tatone co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Please read the title of Senate Bill 213.
Senate Bill 213 by Senators Bridges and Priola, also Representatives Larson and Roberts, concerning the authority of businesses licensed to sell alcohol beverages for consumption on the licensed premises to sell alcohol beverages for consumption off the licensed premises.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 213 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 213 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Let's see, Representative Sullivan, how do you vote? Sullivan votes yes. Frolic. Frolic votes yes. Mclaughlin. McLaughlin votes yes. Tatone. Tatone votes yes. Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Michelson Janae.
Yes.
Michelson Janae votes yes. Please close the machine. With 65 aye votes, no votes, Senate Bill 213 is passed. Co-sponsors. I'd like to see it.
That's all good.
All right, Representative Michelson Janae, Jackson, and Buckner co-sponsor. Representative Sullivan co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Oh, what? Frolic? Did you have is your hand up? Representative Frolic. Co-sponsors. They should. All right, please read the title of Senate Bill 218.
Senate Bill 218 by Senators Fenberg and Lee, also Representatives Singer and McKean, concerning measures by the Department of Public Health and Environment to protect the public from certain hazardous substances in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Thank you, Madam
Majority
Speaker.
Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 218 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill Senate Bill 218 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Representative Frolic, how do you vote? Frolic votes yes. Mclaughlin. McLaughlin votes yes. Tatone. Tatone votes yes. Sullivan. Sullivan votes yes. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Michelson Janae.
Yes.
Michelson Janae votes yes. Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Please close the machine. With 44 aye votes, 21 no votes, Senate Bill 218 is passed. Co-sponsors, Representative Frolic, co-sponsors. Representative Jackson, co-sponsors. Representative Tatone, co-sponsors. McLaughlin, are you co-sponsoring? Okay, you're on there. All right. Please close the machine. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of Senate Bill 205.
Senate Bill 205 by Senators Fenberg and Bridges, also Representatives Becker and Caraveo, concerning the requirement that employees offer sick leave to their employees and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 205 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 205 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. All right, Representative Buckner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Michelson Janae.
Yes.
Michelson Janae votes yes. Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. McLaughlin. McLaughlin votes yes. Frolic. Frolic votes yes. Tatone. Tatone votes yes. Sullivan. Sullivan votes yes. Neville. Is this the last time you're voting no on one of my bills? Is that what you just said? That's like a moment. That's like we should capture that in a picture. Okay. Please close the machine. With 38 aye votes, 27 no votes, Senate Bill 205 is passed. Co-sponsors. Co-sponsors. Representative Sullivan, co-sponsors. Representative Tatone, co-sponsors. Representative Frolic, co-sponsors. All right. Please close the machine. Please read the title of Senate Bill 23.
Senate Bill 23 by Senators Gardner and Gonzalez, also Representatives Michelson, Janae, and Van Winkle, concerning creating a multi-agency working group to address school safety.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 23 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 23 on third reading and final passage. Any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Representative Michelson Janae, how do you vote?
Yes.
Michelson Janae votes yes. McLaughlin. McLaughlin votes yes. Frolic. Frolic votes yes. Sullivan. Sullivan votes yes. Tatone. Tatone votes yes. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. We have Liston, McKean, Sandridge, and Singer. McKean. Please close the machine. With 65 aye votes, no no votes, Senate Bill 23 is adopted. Co-sponsor. Representative Jackson and Buckner, co-sponsor. Representative Tatone Mclaughlin, and Frolic co-sponsor. Any others? Looks like we're good. Please close the machine. Please read the title of Senate Bill 215.
Senate Bill 215 by Senators Moreno and Donovan, also Representatives Kennedy and McCluskey, concerning measures to address the affordability of health insurance for Coloradans, purchasing coverage on the individual market in connection therewith establishing an enterprise to administer a health insurance affordability fee assessed on certain health insurers and a special assessment on hospitals to fund measures to reduce consumer costs for individual health coverage plans.
Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I ask for a permission for a third reading amendment.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Believe it or not, this one actually is technical. There were just a couple things that came together between the amendments that we ran yesterday that we needed to clarify. So if you look, well, you'll see it displayed in just a moment. It will be Amendment L30. It deals with just making sure that there's some appropriate cross-references and that some of the amounts and triggers are set appropriately in the bill. It also clarifies something that we made a mistake on with the composition of the board yesterday.
Representative Kennedy, can you move the bill?
I think I need permission first. Oh, the bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move Senate Bill 215 on third reading and final passage.
Thank you. So the question before us is permission to offer a third reading amendment to Senate Bill 215. Is there any additional discussion? If not, please open, we'll display the amendment. They are a little bit understaffed up here today because Mr. Stoecker left for California today.
Wait, I found out what he's doing. He's taking this job like with election security and like counterterrorism, and he's going to Egypt next week. Isn't that cool?
All right, the amendment is properly displayed. Is there any further discussion?
I know. You did.
Seeing none, the question before us is permission to offer a third reading amendment. Please open the machine and members please vote. Representative, let's see, Mclaughlin, how do you vote? Mclaughlin votes yes. Titone. Titone votes yes. Frolic. Frolic votes yes. Sullivan. Sullivan votes yes. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Michelson-Janae.
Yes.
Michelson-Janae votes yes. Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Harrod, Holtorf, Catlin, Singer, Tipper, Woodrow. Please close the machine. With 51 aye votes, 14 no votes, permission to offer a third reading amendment to Senate Bill 215 is passed. Representative McCluskey.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move L030 to Senate Bill 215, and if you don't vote yes, you know I will cry.
Aww. We definitely don't want Representative McCluskey to cry. Okay, the question before us is L030, an amendment to Senate Bill 215. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and please vote. Representative Frolic, how do you vote? Yes. Frolic votes yes. Sullivan. Sullivan votes yes. Titone. Titone votes yes. Mclaughlin. McLaughlin votes yes. Michelson-Janae.
Yes.
Michelson-Janae votes yes. Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. We've got Benavidez, Buck, Humphrey, Mullica, Singer. Please close the machine. With 42 aye votes, 23 no votes, L030 is adopted. Okay, that brings us back to the bill. Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 215 as amended.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 215 as amended. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Let's see, Representative Sullivan, how do you vote? Yes. Sullivan votes yes. Frolic. Yes. Frolic votes yes. Mclaughlin. McLaughlin votes yes. Titone. Titone votes yes. Buckner. Buckner votes yes. Melton? Your sound is gone. Jackson? Can you do a thumb, because we can't hear you anymore? So Melton is yes. Jackson? Jackson, just show us your hand. Thumbs up, okay. Michelson, Janae? Thumbs up for Michelson, Janae. It seems like the volume has gone out. We have Buenteo, Herod, Humphrey, and Lontine. Herod, please close the machine. With 40 aye votes, 25 no votes, Senate Bill 215 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Let's see. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to proceed out of order for consideration of Senate amendments to House bills.
We will proceed out of order for consideration of Senate amendments to House bills. That's on page 4 of your calendar. The first bill is 1383, Escar and Ransom. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of House Bill 1383.
House Bill 1383 by Representatives Escar and Ransom, also Senators Moreno and Rankin, concerning a temporary reduction in the general fund reserve.
Representative Escar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1383.
The question before us is the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1383. Is there any further discussion? Representative Ransom.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also urge us to concur with the amendment that the Senate made. But I do want to mention a couple things. We did lower the statutory reserve, and I know that you heard me say some of this as we were discussing the budget. When you start running low on money because of an emergency, that is the time to dig into your savings account. So we started out, and I do want to make some of this clear, that the Budget Committee tried hard to be conservative and and generally we choose the most conservative budget because we're presented two budgets and we generally choose the most conservative budget. What the six of us agreed to when we chose the budget that actually gave us more money to spend while we were trying to balance, the agreement was that we would put that $437 million into the reserves, and that was the first bill that we brought you, was with that $437 million. That being said, there were some things that didn't happen during this last 2 weeks as we've been working on the budget. A couple of bills that I think were expected to go through did not go through for various reasons. The other point I want to make is we've been spending money. Every bill that we have passed that has a general fund impact has added to the lowering of the statutory reserve. That being said, we're about 2.86%, and at the last recession, so 2009, 2010, around in there, we were down at 2%. So we still, as you can tell, worked really hard to keep at least something, because we have the rest of the year here that we might have more emergencies that we might have to get through. But that being said, every bill that we've passed that has a general fund impact has affected this, as well as the bills that we were trying to get through that didn't get through. But with all that, I still urge an aye vote on concurring with Senate amendments.
Representative Escar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, I want to be really clear. Nobody wanted to go into the reserves further than what we originally introduced that bill as. But we heard loud and clear not to touch senior homestead exemption. That was $160 million, so we didn't touch that. But in order to balance, we had to go into our reserves a little bit. There was another bill that came out of the Joint Budget Committee, 1373, that we never got to even hear because we had to pass a resolution declaring a fiscal emergency for a very specific time for this bill 1373 to pass through. That was another $18 million that we never got to acknowledge. So yes, there are bills that went through, but I want to be completely clear, it was not new bills that went through that dug us into this general fund hole either. It was the things that we heard loud and clear. People didn't want to move on. We did our best. I apologize sincerely. I think we all do. None of us want to dive even deeper into our reserves to balance. Here we are. If we concur to the amendment, it will bring our, as Representative Ransom said, our general fund balance to 2.86%, which is $304.5 million in our reserve. So I just want to commend once again our Joint Budget Committee members for doing the work that we did this session to be able to cut $3.3 billion and still come out with money sitting in a reserve, I think is an accomplishment. And it's not exactly the way any of us would want it to have been, but I'm very proud of the work we've done, and I can't thank everyone once again enough for their work that we've done across the aisle to get this done. We ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is passage of House Bill 1383. Is consideration of Senate amendments to House Bill 1383. Please open the machine and members please vote. Representative Buckner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Buckner's yes. Jackson?
Yes.
Jackson's yes. Melton?
Yes.
Melton is yes. Michelson Janae?
Yes.
Michelson Janae is yes. Titone? Titone is yes. Mclaughlin? Mclaughlin is yes. Frolic? Frolic is yes. Sullivan? Sullivan is yes. Baisley, Catlin, Humphrey? Humphrey, please close the machine. With 56 aye votes, 9 no votes, Senate amendments to House Bill 1383 are passed. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1383 as amended.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1383 as amended. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Representative Melton, how do you vote?
Yes.
Yes. Representative Jackson?
Yes. Did you hear me?
I'm sorry, I just had to sneeze. Representative Jackson votes yes. Buckner?
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Michelson Janae?
Yes, and bless you.
Thank you. Michelson Janae votes yes. Mclaughlin? Mclaughlin votes yes. Titone? Titone votes yes. Frolic? Frolic votes yes. Sullivan? Sullivan votes yes. Champion Hooten? Humphrey, Kennedy, Cropthorpe, Weissman? Please close the machine. With 51 aye votes, 14 no votes, House Bill 1383 is passed as amended, is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Please read the title of House Bill 1406.
House Bill 1406 by Representative Arndt, also Senators Moreno and Zenziger, concerning the augmentation of the general fund through transfers of certain money.
Representative Arndt.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that we concur with Senate amendments.
Please proceed.
Thank you. In the Senate, Senator Moreno and Senator Zenziger made some amendments to this bill on the cash fund sweep, which of course I always say it's the bill no one likes, based on some recent passage of other bills to make sure that we're having a balanced budget and are in accordance with our Constitution. And I urge an aye vote on concurrence.
The question before us is concurrence with Senate amendments to House Bill 1406. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Let's see, Representative Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Michelson Janae.
Yes.
Michelson Janae votes yes. Frolic. Frolic votes yes. Mclaughlin. McLaughlin votes yes. Tatone. Tatone votes yes. Sullivan. Sullivan votes yes. Holtorf and Hooton. Please close the machine. With 41 aye votes, 24 no votes, Senate amendments to House Bill 1406 is passed. Co-sponsors. I'm sorry. Now we have to pass the bill. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1406 as amended.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1406 as amended. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Michelson Janae.
Yes.
Michelson Janae votes yes. Tatone. Tatone votes yes. McLaughlin. McLaughlin votes yes. Sullivan. Sullivan votes yes. Frolic. Frolic votes yes. Benavides, Humphrey, Singer, and Tipper. Please close the machine. With 41 aye votes, 24 no votes, House Bill 1406 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Please read the title of House Bill 1332.
House Bill 1332 by Representatives Harrod and Jackson, also Senator Fields, concerning prohibitions on discrimination in housing based on source of income and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Representative Harrod.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House concur with Senate amendments.
Please proceed.
Thank you. The Senate exempted landlords of 5 or fewer single-family homes only for the section that applies to Section 8. I ask for an aye vote.
The question before us is the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1332. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Okay, Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Melton.
Yeah. Yes.
Melton votes yes. Michelson Janae.
Yes.
Michelson Janae votes yes. Sullivan. Sullivan votes yes. McLaughlin. McLaughlin votes yes. Frolic. Frolic votes yes. Tatone. Tatone votes yes. Please close the machine. With 62 aye votes, 3 no votes, Senate amendments to House Bill 1332 is passed. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1332 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1332 as amended. Any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Melton.
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Buckner.
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Michelson Janae.
Yes.
Michelson Janae votes yes. McLaughlin. McLaughlin votes yes. Tatone. Tatone votes yes. Frolic. Frolic votes yes. Sullivan. Sullivan votes yes. Buck, Garnett, Liston, Lontine, Mullica, Singer, Soper, Tipper. Please close the machine. With 40 aye votes, 25 no votes, House Bill 1332 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Michelson, Janae, co-sponsors. Buckner, co-sponsors. You're already co-sponsored. Okay. Please close the machine. Please read the title of House Bill 1403.
House Bill 1403 by Representatives Roberts and Catlin, also Senators Donovan and Sonnenberg, concerning the funding of Colorado Water Conservation Board projects and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Representative Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1403.
Any further discussion?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Senate changed one appropriation item in this annual water projects bill. This is a bill that must pass. So with that, we ask that the House concur.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1403. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Representative Jackson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Buckner?
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Melton? Melton? How about Michelson Janae? How do you vote?
Yes.
Michelson Janae
Yes.
votes yes. Melton votes yes. Sullivan? Sullivan votes yes. Frolic? Frolic votes yes. Mclaughlin? Mclaughlin votes yes. Tone? Tone votes yes. Please close the machine. With 56 aye votes, 9 no votes, the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1403 is passed. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1403 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1403 as amended. Any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Let's see, Representative Buckner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Melton?
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Jackson?
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Michelson Janae?
Yes.
Michelson Janae votes yes. Sullivan? Sullivan votes yes. Mclaughlin? Mclaughlin votes yes. Frolic? Frolic votes yes. Tone? Tone votes yes. Benavidez? Please close the machine. With 63 aye votes, 2 no votes, House Bill 1403 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Representative Arndt.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I've never done this before, so there's a lot of firsts this year, and I'd ask that my name be removed as a co-sponsor. I just can't abide with the lack of collaboration with our good water partners. Thank you.
Representative Pelton. Oh, okay. Please close the machine. Please read the title of House Bill 1213.
House Bill 1213 by Representatives Young and Pelton, also Senators Rodriguez and Sonnenberg, concerning the continuation of the Department of Agriculture's regulatory functions related to persons who work with agricultural products in connection therewith implementing recommendations contained in the 2019 Census Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies concerning the Commodity Handler Act and the Farm Products Act.
Representative Pelton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In the Senate, they put on amendment and we moved to concur.
Do you want to tell us what that amendment did?
Okay, what the amendment does is remove the small commodity handlers from the bill. It was going to be gathering $25 fee to put in a database, and really there was no other requirements for them, so they're just removing them from the act.
Representative Young, anything? Okay. The question before us is the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1213. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Let's see. Representative Mclaughlin, how do you vote? Is Mclaughlin up there? She's excused. Representative Frolic? Yes. Frolic votes yes. Tatone? Tatone votes yes. Sullivan? Sullivan votes yes. Michelson-Janae?
Yes.
Michelson-Janae votes yes. Jackson?
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Melton?
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Buckner?
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Soper, Weissman? Please close the machine. With 62 aye votes, 2 no votes, and 1 excused, Senate amendments to House Bill 1213 is passed. Co-sponsors. I'm sorry. Majority Leader Garnett. We need to repass 1213 as amended.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1213 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1213 as amended. Any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. All right, Representative Sullivan, how do you vote? Sullivan votes yes. Frolic? Frolic votes yes. Tatone? Tatone votes yes. Melton?
Yes.
Melton votes yes. Buckner?
Yes.
Buckner votes yes. Jackson?
Yes.
Jackson votes yes. Michelson-Janae?
Yes.
Michelson-Janae votes yes. Garnett, Kraftharp, Valdez, Wilson? Please close the machine. With 64 aye votes, no votes, and 1 excused, House Bill 1213 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, so I think the plan is to go into tributes. Did everyone get this sheet of tributes? It's coming. It looks like it's coming. We do have one conference committee that will have to meet, but we don't have the notice yet from the Senate. So while we're doing this, we may get that notice, and then we might assign the conference committee and have them go meet while we're doing this. Is probably the most efficient way of going about it.
Right, so State Affairs does need to meet. Do you want to do that? You can do it after this? Okay. So we're going to at least start some of the tributes. All right, and you want to just start at the top of the list with Michelson-Janae on behalf of Representative Singer?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next item not on our current calendar is just tributes for departing members. The first one is Representative Michelson-Janae, who's going to be speaking on behalf of Representative Singer.
Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry that I am not able. Yep, I'm waiting.
And one quick second, I just want to lay the expectations and the ground rules, Representative Michelson-Janae, before we get started. So I think it is 2 for the person, 4 for the member. Okay, I think the expectation is that there's 3 minutes set aside for the people talking about the member leaving the chamber, and then 3 minutes for the member to address the body. I would say that anyone can talk for however long we want on this, but my first year, those were the rules, and it took over 10 hours. So it's not meant to be disrespectful, it's just meant to be a little bit more orderly. So 3 hours, and then, whoa. 3 minutes and 3 minutes. So I just want to make sure I sort of laid out those expectations, Representative Michelson-Janae, before you got started. So please proceed.
Should I feel a little bit insulted that you thought that maybe I was going to speak for 3 hours? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay, Jonathan. Representative Singer, you should come up to the well because I can actually see the well, Representative Singer. And Representative Cutter, who I see is near you, is going to be my Vanna White for you. So Representative Singer, the other day when Representative Coleman came down and started doing the, hey, Representative Humphrey, you're in front of the camera. When Coleman came down and started doing the thing for TKT, I'm like, okay, we're going to bring the whole Public Health Care Committee down. And Alec was like, no, stop where you are. So, yeah, it's all Representative Garnett's fault. But what I wanted to tell you, Representative Singer, and you know this story, but not everybody does. When I started talking about the legislation that I wanted to work on, how it had to do with suicide prevention and with youth and with foster care, et cetera, everybody kept saying to me, you have to speak to this, I was going to call you Rabbi, you have to speak to Representative Singer, you have to speak to Representative Singer. And the first day that we crossed paths, I was there for my orientation, and somebody said, there he is. And I grabbed you and I said, well, I didn't, anyway, I said, would you be able to sit down with me for a few minutes? I really want to just tell you about the bills that I'm working on. And you said, sure, here, let's go into this committee room. And we sat down and I started telling you what I was working on, and your eyes kind of got wide and you told me I was crazy, which is things I've heard before. And then you said, but go for it. And every step of the way you have been there to help me go for it. And it has been the greatest honor serving as your vice chair of public health. And I hope to follow in your footsteps, but I would never, ever be able to be the chair of public health care and human services that you have been. All you have brought to the table for the people of Colorado is mind-blowing. And I wish that I could tell everybody in your community how unbelievably amazing you are. And maybe you can grab this clip and show it to them so that they can hear me saying it. Because you are amazing, Representative Singer. The way that you think, the way that you take action, the way that you work with everybody around the table, there is no other like you. So we decided to make you something very special, and I would like to say that no other is going to have it, but that would be a lie. And so I would ask you to please open, you can read the little notes later, but please open that box.
Is this one of those intelligence tests, or?
It is.
A puzzle.
Fail.
Please lift it out. So what we have for you is a crystal gavel with your name inscribed for all to know that forevermore, Jonathan Singer is the chair of Public Health Care and Human Services. And may you remember your time with us fondly and know that you have taught us so much and you brought so much to the table. And I'm sorry I'm not there to give you a really great big hug or to sew a button on your jacket, either one. But know that I'm so grateful for all of the time that I've had with you and grateful for everything you have brought to Colorado. Love you, and I'm going to miss you.
Representative Michelson Janae. I'm going to take this Kleenex and wipe off the screen right now. I think that even the screen is crying right now. Members, I thought a long time about what I was going to say, and I decided that I wasn't going to write any words down because I really wanted to speak from the heart for a moment. The one group that I oftentimes forget to thank, but they're always in my heart, is my family, the people that really struggle the most in this job. We talk about the long hours, the hard work, the short tempers, and the high stakes. And it's really our parents and our husbands and wives and our aunts and uncles and our children that really pay the price when we aren't there, because we're trying to do something for everyone. And so I want to thank them for sharing me with all of you, because we can't make this work by ourselves. We have to do this together. That is how democracies work. That is how it is designed. 8.5, 9 years ago, I would have never imagined I was going to be here, sitting in a child protection office, trying to help kids. And I get a phone call and says, hey, you should think about running. And I stepped up and I ran. And then I realized there was going to be a vacancy committee. And 2 months later, I'm here serving. And a year later, I'm running a statewide tax increase in a fiscally conservative state that passes on legalized marijuana. And if you had told me that 9 years ago that I would be doing all of those things, I might have to ask what you were smoking. And I remember this one late night, my second year, the House had just adjourned, it's 11 o'clock at night, I walk over to the Senate and this person says, Representative Singer, it's the end of your first year, what do you really want to do here? Not, anything else. And I said, you know what, I think we did it. I wanted to reform our child welfare system. I wanted to make sure our drug laws were more fair. I wanted to put more money into higher education, which we did that year. I think we did it. And I kind of left that year thinking, well, maybe my work is done. And then the flood of 2013 hits. My community is rocked, and we are forged in a crucible of water. And then after that, I remember a woman with her son in a wheelchair who shows up in my office saying, my son is getting kicked out of school because he has medical marijuana and they won't let him in there. And I run another bill. And then a foster youth shows up and says, I was separated from my brother, I was separated from my sister. I don't know where they are. It's 10 years down the road. What do I do? Sometimes we choose our moments when we run for office, but so often our moments choose us, and we just have to be ready for those moments to happen. So be ready for those moments, member, because you don't know when they're going to happen and you don't know when they're going to end. This session being a great example of that. So make sure you treat each other well. Remember the people that helped get you here. If I named all of them, we would be here all night. But to my campaign managers, whether it was Brian or Sarah or Katie or Jake, all of you, without your work and so many other volunteers, I wouldn't be here in the first place. None of us get this badge by ourselves. And when we leave, it is up to us to make sure that the next generation shows comedy, shows respect, shows that they are willing to listen to each other, because it's in those quiet moments that we find each other and we find agreement on issues that we may have never imagined, whether it's 6 in the morning or 11 o'clock at night, sitting in offices trying to figure out what we can do for each other and for our communities and for our constituents. The political grandstanding, the fundraising, I wish it would go away. I wish it would go away, because if people saw what we do on a day-to-day basis, the faith in our system would grow in such a way that we could actually get some more things done. I also just want to say thank you to the sergeants and the staff and everyone here who has done something. Who has done something because they believe in something, a cause greater than themselves. And to my aides, Susan and Mary and Caroline, who have been with me since before I even started, I think, thank you for your service. And thank you for your service as well. With that, members, I look forward to serving out our days together with maybe a little bit more comedy and a little bit more comedy. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
Representative Singer, it has been fantastic serving with you, and I'm going to come down. There's a gift and a plaque for each member, and it's just been a total honor, and I'm glad we live in the same county and that you're going to be my county commissioner. I probably shouldn't say that, because I get to continue working with you. So I believe we are going to go out of order. Is that correct? There's a special guest. That word special has so many meanings when it comes to this person. Former Representative Justin Everett is here to speak on behalf of Representative Humphrey, before you come into the well, I think we have to give permission to to let a former member speak at the well. Robin, is there? There's a house rule. Do we have to actually vote on it? Okay, so, that's what we'll do, is we'll just go into recess. So the House will stand in a recess for Representative Justin Everett to speak. The House will be in recess. Justin Everett.
Wow, what's going on here? Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, it's not necessarily good to be back. Last time I was in the chamber, obviously no plexiglass, a much different time. I'm here to speak on behalf of the farewell for Representative Steve Humphrey. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize a few other legislators. My brother, my friend, Javon Melton, where are you?
He's over there.
Okay, hiding over there. Javon, look, I think that something this chamber is going to miss is your passion, your political savvy, and also the fact that you have brought a sense of humor to this chamber, which I think it might be lacking. And members, you need to have a sense of humor because there's a lot of things that go on down here, and it gives you perspective. It helps you focus, it helps you understand the other arguments, and it makes us better legislators. Perry Buck in the back, part of my class that came in 2013, I made Perry mad one time. It took me 3 years of practice to get to that point, but Perry brings kindness to this chamber, and remember to be kind to your fellow legislator. And then, of course, Lori Sane, my partner in crime. I would charge the hill with you any day. And, your passion is noted. But I'm here to talk about Steve Humphrey, also known as the Ice Bear. Does anybody know about We Bear Bears? So there's 3 bears. It's a cartoon. There's Grizz the grizzly, there's Panda the panda, and then there's Ice Bear, the polar bear. And of course, we only know that there's only one thing on the planet whiter than a polar bear, and that's Steve Humphrey. So, but the important thing about Ice Bear, and Steve adopted this moniker because Ice Bear is fiercely loyal to his friends. He's passionate. He's concerned about everyone and everything. But also, and this is where it comes into play for Steve Humphrey, is that Ice Bear is a bear of very few words. And that exemplifies Steve Humphrey. He will do everything in his power to help his friends. He never says anything bad about anyone. Trust me, I've tried to get him to do that. But Steve is passionate. And you have to understand something about Steve Humphrey, is this is completely out of his comfort zone being down here. The story he hates me to tell is when he first decided to run for office in 2011, 2012, is he's so introverted and so deathly afraid of public speaking that he used to have to take melatonin just to calm his nerves, just to talk. And when we were freshmen in 2013, to get Steve to come up and talk about something was definitely difficult. But when he did, because he rarely came up here, the chamber would listen. And something you need to know about Steve is passionate, he's conservative. If you did not get to know Steve in the last 2 years for new members, you really missed out. Because Steve is just a quality individual that cares deeply about people, that doesn't have a bad bone in his body. He's as much the best of us, and it's something we should all strive to be. If you don't like his politics, that's fine, but you should love the man, and I love that man, and I call that man friend. Steve Humphrey, the chamber will sorely miss you, but you won't be forgotten. I love you, brother. Thank you, and God bless. Thank you, members.
Thank you, Representative Everett. For those that don't know Representative Everett, you might have heard about stories of Representative Neverett, because he never voted for anything. Good to see you. Representative Humphrey. Right, that's right. Thank you, Kelly. So the House will come back to order. All right, Representative Humphrey.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's been a privilege to serve down here. It's been a great honor to have been elected to represent House District 48. And you guys are, what are you guys standing up for? You're killing me. And Thank you to Representative Neverett for coming down here. I don't think he's offended anybody while he was up here, so that was impressive. And I want to thank my wife. As hard as it was for me, it was a lot harder for her because she, this is what happens when you're tired and you do this. She's got a lot thinner skin, so, and I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for what the Lord Jesus Christ has done in my life. I don't know where I would be. I'll be the first one to use one of these. And I give him the glory for that. And it's just been a great honor to get to know so many of you and to serve with you. And there really isn't, a person here that I don't like personally and I don't respect. So thank you, and it's been a privilege. Thank you for your patience and your respect as well. We have issues that divide us in very profound ways, but I'm always happy to have that conversation and to press forward for what I believe in and what I represent, and I know you do as well, and I thank you for that. And thank you again, and it was an honor to come in with those who I came in with and served with. And that's what's got me through this whole time, is just really great people. So thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Representative Humphrey. Representative Humphrey, you don't get to disappear that quickly. I respect your absolute dogged determination to represent your district and your values, and it's been an honor to serve with you. The next, we are going to go back in order. Representative Hooton will be speaking for Representative Hooton will be speaking for Representative Jaquez Lewis. Representative Hooton.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, before I address my tribute to Representative Jaquez Lewis, I do want to let Representative Mclaughlin know how absolutely adored Representative Singer is in Boulder County. And while you were sewing buttons on his coats, I was cleaning his glasses, which I did on a regular basis. So anyway, we've got our fingers crossed, and we're doing everything we can to get him elected. So members, it is a great pleasure for me to come down before you on behalf of my good friend and colleague and member of the Boulder County delegation. I can't tell you when we first met, but both of us have been activists in Boulder County for decades before either of us ran for office, and our paths had crossed many times on many issues, and of course we saw each other every year at County Assembly. And when Representative Mike Foote chose to run for Matt Jones' Senate seat, there was a lot of confidence in the county that he would succeed. The question then became, who will fill that House seat? Who knows that area of the county well enough to be a voice and advocate for those in it? who knows the election process and the political process, who can organize a campaign and raise the necessary funds to get it off the ground and see it through. Sonia jumped right to the top of my list. I gave her a call and learned quickly that I wasn't the only one who came to that conclusion, that she would be a great candidate and a representative. She is a Latina who would serve the highest concentration of the Latino population in Boulder County. She and her wife, Allison, are well-known and respected in Lafayette. They are both medical professionals, which we have all come to learn is a great asset to this body in developing public policy. Once she filed, she hit the ground running. It was a great campaign. And once she got elected, she hit the ground running and quickly distinguished herself as a member who rolls up their sleeves and gets right to work. Her constituents, local leaders, and nonprofits trust she will put them first, and she does. As a legislator, she is unwavering in her passion to get more affordable, accessible prescription drugs for every Coloradan, improving access to affordable health care, gun violence prevention, and always, always social justice and equality. She should be proud of her bills, sustainable energy and environment protection, and the work she has done on the interim committee to address the challenges of climate change. With one term in the House, she is off to the Senate, and as you would expect, she has hit the ground running. As we all know, there will be no nap in the other chamber once Representative Hawkes Lewis arrives. I'll miss you, my friend. I'll miss you here in this chamber, but I do look forward to having a good friend and ally over there. Congratulations on your great success here, and I look forward to working with you on summer on your election, and again, next session.
Aww. Representative Hawkes Lewis.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to have served with you the last 2 years.
It is an absolute honor to have served with you, Representative.
I'm not as eloquent off the top as my colleague, Representative Singer, so I did write down a few things. I've got a few more gray hairs than he does, probably actually a lot more hair than he does. So I do want to share this with you, though. I appreciate it. I'd like to borrow a phrase from the street right below us. Remember this time. Remember this time is newly painted on Black Lives Matter Boulevard, right in front of the Capitol. And of my time here, I will remember yesterday for the historic vote we took to change the culture and hopefully, as they like to say, change hearts and minds. And I'll remember many of the votes like that in this chamber: comprehensive education, election law, health care, judicial law, protections for our air and our water and our land. And I'm very proud to have been a part of that last session and this session. But I will remember the votes we did not take. And the change that was not allowed to happen in this chamber. But I'm very hopeful because I hope that a day will come when we can do those things, many of us in this room. I will remember how loud it gets in here, the laughter in a certain corner, back here, frequently my corner, the sound of the lobby doors opening, the staffers, the visitors along the wall and upstairs, and our voices up and down in the well, and the pleas from our leaders. Can we take it down a notch? I will remember coming into this chamber at 2 or 3 in the morning to grab a cell phone charger or a drink because I'm still in committee across the hall, where a lot of people from all over the state have come to have a say on what we were deciding. and how eerily quiet this room could be. And who knows what lies in my future? Maybe I'll be in a quiet room with a different color carpet. Who knows? But I will remember how personal we get here. We share parts of our lives that are normally reserved for our closest friends. And I have made some of those close friendships. Friendships that I hope will be with me for the rest of my life. The wonderful conversations, and I hope we can look back together at what we have shared and what we have done. And I know because they're watching, I do want to thank Allison and my family and my aides, Denise, Emma, and Anna. And I do want to thank the staff and everyone that works here, because I agree we could not do this alone. So I'll end with saying, remember this time.
Representative Jaquez Lewis, you will be missed in this chamber, but you won't be far. It's been an honor to serve with you and have you as a colleague in Boulder County. You served both the House and Boulder County very well, and it's just been a total pleasure. So thank you. Before we go to the next, which will be Representative Geithner speaking for Representative Liston, I'm just going to read a message from the Senate. Mr. Gregorio, please read the message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has passed.
Message from the Senate will be printed in the Journal. The Senate has has voted not to concur in Senate amendments or House amendments to Senate Bill 163 and requests a conference committee. The conferees for the House will be Representatives Malika, Roberts, and Representative Williams. All right, then we will go back to our regularly scheduled program, Representative Geithner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I come up before you today to stand here in support of post-certification. Members, can we please have post-certification? No, seriously. I come up in here to talk about my friend and my colleague, Representative Larry Liston, who he's a second-time offender of this chamber. I think we all know that. But this time, he doesn't leave us due to, the tenure of his service, but more importantly, to continue his service in representing the people in El Paso County as he moves over to the Senate. And I think they have, Senate District 10 has a fine senator that's coming their way. But I just want to, talk a little bit about Larry. I had the opportunity to serve with Larry on energy and environment. I sat right behind him here on the House floor. And I think the biggest quality, Larry, that you bring to the members of this chamber, and maybe, let me just speak for myself, is humor. The man never runs out of a joke. If he sees you a little low on energy, if he sees you just feeling down, and if he just sees you around, he likes to make people smile. And I think that's a necessary quality that this chamber absolutely needs. It's a quality that will be missed in this chamber, and I'm envious that the Senate will be gaining that quality in you. But back to what brings me up here, which is post-certification. Members, we need to move on legislation for post-certification, and I know that's something that Larry stressed to us time and time again. Another quality that I truly appreciate about Larry is certainly the history lessons that he provided us. He's an avid reader of history, mostly, I believe, World War II history, but just war history in general. And his ability to tie that in to pretty much any piece of policy and bring it back to the importance of really what makes this body function as this body, and that is the servicemen and women of this great nation. And I appreciate Professor Liston and your history lessons that you bestowed upon us all. I think what I'll do is I'll wrap up. I would like to, I'd be remiss, and I'm going to set you up here, Larry, as I hand the microphone over to you. And that is economic news. I don't know that I would know the economic news of the United States if it was not for Larry Liston. I hope you have something that you can share with this body. I'm not as sad maybe as some of the other members that have come up here to see other members go, but that's just because I know that I'll be still seeing you in the halls of this great building. I'll have the opportunity to have lunch with you and drinks and just the opportunity to see you around El Paso. I have enjoyed every day that I've had the pleasure of serving with you. I look forward to the work you're going to do and the representation that you'll provide for Senate District 10, but I will certainly miss seeing you and your humor and your lessons that you bring and that you teach us all here in this body. Thank you very much for your service, and we look forward to seeing more of you as this continues. So thank you, Representative Larry Liston.
Representative Geithner, I thought you were going to say you wouldn't know the economic news of the day if it weren't for Representative Melton. Oh, so fun. Okay, Representative Liston.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Representative Melton, you've been waiting for this day for probably 120 days or more. So I guess I should look at it that way. Well, members, Representative Geithner, I want to thank you for your kind words. When I had to find somebody to speak for me, I went around my entire caucus, and I couldn't find anybody except for Representative Geithner, so he drew the short straw. So yeah, that's right. It's amazing what $100 will do. So, members, it's been really such a great honor. Like Representative Geithner said, I am a two-time offender. I am living proof that to do what we do, you have to be half crazy and from a defective gene pool, because I went through this not once for 8 years, but I came back for 4 more years of a beating. But no, it's really just been a great honor to serve the people of my district and serve the people of Colorado, and to play a minor role in good policy decisions that we've all played in. I've been proud to be an advocate. I've said it many a times. I come from the business community. I am a proud capitalist. Capitalism is good for all of us. It's good for our state. It's good for our country. And I'm proud to extol the virtues of that, to share the blessings of our economic system and our great country and the Lord that is bestowed on all of us. I've made many good friends as I look here through the House chamber on both sides of the aisle. I'm going to mention just a few names, not in any particular order, but for my friends on the Democratic side, Representative Arndt, it's been a pleasure to work with you. Representative Hooten, you're a hoot. You're a hoot. I've enjoyed working with you. Representative Mullica, we've just had 2 years. Where did he go? He was up here somewhere. Oh, there he is. Representative Mullica, you're a great advocate for the causes you believe in. Representative Coleman, we all know you're a real first-class gentleman. I admire you so much. I've learned a lot from you. Representative Tracy Kraft Tharp, like I said before, you've been a wonderful chairman, and I regret not being on the business community. Representative Byrd, thank you, and so many more. I can't name everybody. For my good friends on the Republican side of the aisle, you've been such a great team. I've loved working with every one of you. I have a story that I will always know, and a bit of history that I will take with me about each and every one of you that I will never forget. to my remaining colleagues who will be here in the House next year, if the good people of Senate District 10 see fit to send me to represent the people of Senate District 10, I look forward to working with you on all of the issues. I believe it or not, I am a person that looks forward to working with people across the aisle, and I want to continue that next year if I'm in the Senate. I also want to thank all of you. I do have a sense of humor. Sometimes it can be a little bit biting. I can be a little bit sarcastic, but it's all I can take as good as I can give. I think those of you who know me know that probably 99% of what I say is in jest and just to kind of brighten people's days. Last but not least, I would like to thank the staff, Robin, and all of the staff members who on the staff back here and our legislative staff that works tirelessly to try and make us look good. For some of us, there's not enough lipstick that they can put on this pig, but they still try anyways. I want to also a real shout out to all the House sergeants. You guys have all been so great to work with, for not only me, but for everybody. And so thank you to all of my, I'll say my friends, the House sergeants. Thank you. God bless you all. And not to disappoint you, there is some good economic news that today import prices rose, the best they've risen in the past year. And you think, well, why should higher prices be good? Well, it's because the higher prices are good to a certain degree for all of us. It shows that we're coming out of this recession. So thank you, America. Thank you, Donald Trump, and God bless you all.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
Representative Liston, I can't remember, was your predecessor Joshi? Is that who it was? I remember someone saying, oh, Representative Liston is going to be coming back, and he's much more moderate than Representative Joshi, and I cannot imagine what they were thinking when they said that. It's been an honor to serve with you, and good luck in the Senate. Representative Liston, come this way. The next folks up will be Representative Landgraf speaking on behalf of Representative Wilson. Is Representative Landgraf available? We might have to go out of order. We're going to have Representative Herod. Sorry. Oh, she is here. Hold on. I'm sorry. Representative Landgraf, do you mind? I forgot Representative Herod has to leave. Is that correct? Representative Wilson, do you mind? Representative Herod has to leave. Is it okay? Okay. Representative Herod. Representative Herod is going to speak on behalf of Representative Melton. It's very fitting, actually, that Representative Melton go after Representative Liston anyway. So
that's right. And can I have the members of the Black Caucus come down as well, please? So I want to give tribute. Hi, friends. I see you coming. Jackson's on her way. Buckner's coming down. So I just want to say what an honor it is to be able to serve with Representative Melton. I know a lot of you all have heard our stories, but I want to tell for some of the new members. Representative Melton and I went to college together at CU. We both served in the Black Student Alliance. I was the director of politics, and you were the director of communications. So we've known each other for a very long time, but what a lot of folks don't know is that Representative Melton and I actually were going to run against each other for the House District 8 seat. You see, Representative Melton actually is from my House District 8. I moved here, and there was a time when then Representative Beth McCann was planning to go over to the Senate and create a vacancy. And there was a moment when Representative Melton and I were actually going to run against each other. And I remember, he tells the story much better. Melton invited me to breakfast to talk about our race. And it was bogeys at the City Park Golf Course. And he came thinking he was going to get there all early and get the power seat. The way he tells it is he walked in the door, I was already sitting, and I turned around and I said, Javon, come on in. And we had a talk about the race, and he said, I really want this seat. I'm going to run. And I was like, well, I really appreciate it. You're very nice, and, I've loved being your friend, but I want you to know that your boss, the lieutenant governor, has already endorsed me, and we're announcing it in about an hour. And he was like, what? How did that happen? And then I think as he reminds me, he paid for breakfast, left, and then moved to Aurora, where he was able to serve in House District 41. But he is an amazing, amazing mentor to me. He actually ended up getting the seat before I came in, but also all of the Black Caucus. A lot of folks don't know he's one of the founders of the Colorado Democratic Black Caucus. He is our rock. He's someone who stands with us, helps us with the rules, helps us with policy, and is our go-to person for strategy. I don't know how we're going to do it without him. I actually refuse to believe that we will, but we know we are all sending you so much love. And on behalf of the Black Caucus, we have, can you see, we have this to present to you. It is a painting of George Floyd for all the work that you've done on criminal justice reform, police reform, and just everything you've given to our communities. We want to say thank you. We love you so much. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you all. It's so hard not to be there with you. Every day down there has been like Disneyland for me. It has been fun. Some days the rides are broken, I'll admit. Some days I'm the one that breaks the ride. But it has been an absolute joy. It's been honestly an experience that I don't always feel like I'm even worthy of. To serve alongside each and every one of you. You all bring such passion and such expertise and such knowledge to the areas that you know that it's amazing to see you work. I remember being a kid, to meet an elected official was over the moon. I remember the very first time I met Wellington Webb, I shook his hand and I got home from high school, and I'm like, Mom, I shook the mayor's hand. So to work alongside each and every one of you is truly like, Mom, I got to work with so-and-so today. So truly, it's been an honor and a joy. There's so many of you that I want to say, it's been an honor to work with. Definitely every single member of the Black Caucus. You guys are my family. You guys have kept me grounded, have made sure that I've been able to really get the work done that I'm so proud of that we've all done together. To Hootie Hoo, to other members on the other side of the aisle, Williams and Liston, McKean, to my classmate that I came in with, Tracy Kraft Tharp, TKT. You and I kept joking, how in the world did we end up still here? Everybody else left. But, it's been an honor. And truthfully, I'm going to reach out to all of you. Like I say, it kills me not to be there. I feel like I'm missing Disneyland right now. And the only other thing I would say is I've seen most of you all come in, and you've all been so impressive. One piece of advice, in fact, I remember, Madam Speaker, I think I gave you this piece of advice first. One piece of advice I've given most of you is, you're going to experience the A months. April, you're going to be like, I want to get out of there. And in August, you're going to be like, I can't wait to get back. For me, it's been like August all year. I have not felt like I've wanted to get out of there. I've wanted to stay, but I will truly miss you all in the entire House. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Representative Hooten.
Yeah. So thank you, Madam Chair. Members, if this is your first session, or if you're in Representative Melton's class, to know Representative Melton is to admire him deeply. His tremendous command of the issues, his oratory skills, that is riveting every time he comes to the well. The contributions that he's made not only to the whole chamber, but absolutely to our caucus. We miss you every day. We're here and your seat is empty. I can't say that enough. And I will miss also cleaning your glasses. I will miss that. But on behalf of our caucus, we would like to present you with this gift. Can you see it? It's a glass art.
Look at the camera.
Oh, here we go. Never mind. Okay, here it is. It's a piece of glass art, and we know, if anyone's been in your office, you know how beautiful your office is and how much you appreciate things of beauty. We thought this, it's multicolored, and we think it absolutely represents who you are as a human being and as a member of our chamber. So thank you, Godspeed, and we know that we will be working with you in a different capacity after this session is over.
Thank you. Love it.
Representative Melton will be putting your gifts on your chair or desk. And I just want to say, from the moment I met you in Keystone many years ago, you impressed me and told me so much about what it was like to serve in the legislature when I came in a vacancy committee. You told me about how you were sort of in that special place where right meets left on some issues. And I think Representative Justin Everett confirmed that. And I've learned so much watching you and always had so much fun with you. And I have such deep respect for you and the work that you've done. From the moment I came in, you were a new legislator, but you knew so much about the rules and how to get something done. And I watched that and said, I need to learn the same things that Representative Melton has done because he's so effective. So it's just been a total pleasure serving with you. And I'm going to miss you, buddy. All right, the next, Representative Harrod, are you doing the next one as well, Representative Coleman? Okay. You're still planning to leave, right?
Yes.
Is that why I'm letting
Thank
you?
you. Come on down, Black Caucus, one more time. Coming? Okay, good. Melton, hurry up. All right, you guys. I just want to, give a shout out to my other brother from a different mother, James Coleman. Representative Coleman is my heart. He has been truly my backbone these past few weeks, and I couldn't do any of it without him. And I know Representative Melton's a little bit jealous of that because that was Melton's spot. But Coleman does more than what you see here. He takes care of his family. He raises his beautiful kids to be not only respectful, but strong and bold and courageous. He fights in Northeast Denver alongside of the other elected officials in Northeast Denver to be a mentor to all of us. He has this quiet passion that people don't always see, but when it comes out, as you all felt this week, it is probably one of the most impactful things, and he is one of the most impactful voices in this building that this building has ever seen. And so I'm not okay with you going to the Senate at all. I know you'll be close, but I'm gonna miss you in this chamber, but you're right, Mr. Minority Leader, they need him over there, and we know you'll be back over here. You're always welcome. We love you so much. Continue to serve and serve us all very proudly. Thank you. And now you are going to be my senator. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Representative Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to serve with you.
It's always an honor to serve with you.
So I just want to start off by thanking God for the opportunity to be able to serve with all of you. And why do I always get up here and start tearing up? But I especially want to thank all of you because you guys know my mother and a lot of the struggles that I've dealt with. And I wanted to first thank her. I know she can't hear this right now, but I am so grateful for her and how she helped raise me to, more than anything else, have compassion for people and love them regardless of how they treat you. And so it's the greatest gift and greatest quality she ever taught me. It's no matter where I go, it always works. Also my father, you know, I've shared with you all before that I reconnected with my dad when I was 11 years old, and I think a lot of times in the black community we don't give acknowledgement to our fathers, and my father is the reason why I think I'm here as well, because of the advocacy that he taught me at a young age, doing street ministry. It's easy to do work and serve people in places of comfort. It's hard to do it when society says that they're ugly or they're dirty. And he had me going to soup kitchens and nursing homes, and it's just what I know. And so I'm grateful for him, because if he had had me do that, I don't know if I'd have the service mentality that I have. And then also my grandmother. This is a huge honor to be able to serve with you all, and as we all continuing to serve in different capacities, being able to run for the Senate. It is everywhere that I grew up. I always joke with Representative Harrod that when my grandmother got her first ballot, she was so mad because my name wasn't on it. And the dividing line of House District 8 and 7 is Monaco Parkway, the street I grew up on. And on the west side of the street is 8, and the south side, on the east side is 7. And that's where I represent. She said, boy, you couldn't you just change the lines? I said, Grandma, that's every 10 years. It's, you know, people determine what the districts look like. And I said, so no, I can't. She said, well, I'm going to vote for Leslie Harrod. I said, well, that's second best for me. That's second best. But she today will be able to fill out the ballot with my name on it for the first time. And it means so much to me. I want to thank my wife and my kids, because when I decided to run for office, I asked them for permission. Because like all of you, when we do this, we do it 110. We miss birthdays, we miss different activities. And so they gave me permission. So Shayna and James and Naomi, I want to say thank you to you. Also, my mother-in-law, thank you to you, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know my wife. She allowed me to meet and date my wife when we were 13 years old. Naomi, that's not going to work for you. I'm just joking. Let me be clear, it's not going to work for you either, James. I want to give a shout out to my team, the folks who work with me in my other job, with my nonprofit, the folks who work here at the Capitol, the folks who work on the campaign. It's everybody. I want to thank Kathy for giving me the opportunity to pray. I never thought that I would come in here and pray. And that was just a real blessing to be able to open up with some of my colleagues, our floor work, and all the staff that we work with. I want to give a shout out to all the sergeants, especially John. I see John walking back there. He doesn't know I'm talking about him, but I want to give a shout out to John, because John finds the most random things in this building. He found a picture of this in my office of a stamp of Hattie McDaniel in the basement of the Capitol. She was an Academy Award winner for Best Supporting Actress for Gone with the Wind. She went to East High School right up the street. He found a picture, he found a cap of Satchel Paige, a former pitcher in the Negro baseball leagues. And then he just gave me a malachite necklace to give to my wife on our engagement anniversary, which everybody thought was our wedding anniversary. But something that it was his mother's, and he gave it to me to give to my wife. And so all of you, you treat us all like family, and we really appreciate that. So thank you, John. Appreciate that. Then I just wanted to recognize, I want to recognize everybody here, but I know we don't want to take up too much time. But I do want to thank, nice. I want to thank Pat because we got a chance to go to Israel together and get baptized, and we got to show people that we can work across the aisle in that way. Second, I want to thank Madam Speaker. This is nothing against anybody here because I hopped in late, but Madam Speaker was the only legislator to endorse me. And it wasn't because y'all didn't like me, it's because I hopped in late. If it wasn't for you, I might not be here. So thank you. And lastly, I want to thank Rep. Harrod because if you want to run for something, you have to do her yard work in the backyard. Representative Melton understands this. And so again, no, but thank you for encouraging me to run. Thank you for supporting me, and I'm looking forward to serving with you in the same district. And thank you all. We're going to continue to do good work. I love you guys, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Representative Coleman, I think I speak for everyone when I say you have touched the people in this chamber in such a deep and lasting way, and we all love you so much. You've been absolutely amazing to serve with. We are lucky that you are only going about 60 feet away, and they are lucky you're going over there because hopefully you bring some depth and sanity and dignity and logic and hard work to the Senate that they so desperately need. Members, quickly, we have to do one item of business. The conference committee for Senate Bill 163 has asked to go beyond the scope of their differences, and the body has to approve that. We can do that through a voice vote. So the question before the House is whether the conferees on Senate Bill 163 can go beyond the scope of their differences. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. The motion passes. The conferees are welcome to meet. We now have Representative Wilson, Representative Landgraf speaking on behalf of Representative Wilson. Thank you for letting us go out of turn. No, we're not doing that? I'm sorry, you are speaking on her behalf. So Representative Wilson will speak on behalf of Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning to you all on the screen. You don't get to see us from where you're sitting. We get to see you, but you don't get to see us. So we've been watching you carefully all this time. Lois. What can I say about Lois? You know, if you've never gotten to really know Lois, I mean really know Lois, not just an acquaintance, but get to really know her, you missed out. And you don't have much time to get to know her, and you better get after it if you haven't really gotten to know her. Lois, what a dry wit you have. And we are in the middle of a drought, you know. How she can keep that wit with all the challenges in her life is a testimony to us. Because what you miss out on, if you don't really know Lois, you don't really know what she's dealt with, and she still keeps that smile on her face and keeps that dry wit. And you've kept those things in perspective, and I respect you for that. We've known each other a long time. We came in at the same time. I wasn't sure Colorado was ready for that. I'm still not sure that they were ready for that. Lois has the biggest heart in this chamber, I believe. I really do. And I hope your pacemaker keeps going for a long, long time because we need that here. Your family and all of us do. What a passion for your position and taking it seriously. And what a passion for her party and wanting to do the right thing. And who's going to carry the health bills? I mean, seriously. Who's going to carry the health bills? Finally, what a true friend. Again, as I said, if you haven't gotten to know her, you better get after it quickly. I'm so glad I got elected in 2012. I got to meet you and got to know you. And to paraphrase my now famous Lisa story, I love you, Lois Landgraf.
Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You guys can sit down. So every year, we've had a wear your team sweatshirt, your college. I've never had a sweatshirt here because I come up and find out they're going to do that, and of course my sweatshirt is back home, or my shirt or whatever. So I've got my mask for the University of Washington Huskies, go Dogs, but I'm going to take it off. It was upside down anyway. So I asked Representative Wilson to speak for me because we did come in together. We sat next to each other, and I know for a fact that he is the most honorable man in this room. He has continued to be that way from day one, and I think that's he's just true to his beliefs, truly true to his beliefs. And obviously, I love you, Jim, and I always will. He also, same name as my husband. So just a couple of things. I thought I avoided this. I had the last 2 days off. I had planned, honestly, we're moving, and I've got people there. It's a brand new house, but we're changing it. And I've got people working on it. But we were going to be out in May, so the timing was just terrible. And then I thought, timing is great because you're all going to do these things, and I will not be here because it's hard. It's hard. But I wanted to talk about a couple things. I wanted to thank a group of people that we really don't thank, and of course we're also on this side jealous of. I came in under Speaker Ferrandino, and as you know, he was the first gay speaker in Colorado, and I did meet with him, and I said, you're so accomplished. He was so accomplished. He overcame so many things and became a lawyer, and then he became speaker. And I asked him why he really wanted to be known, as the first gay speaker. I still don't understand that, because to me it's just how you are. It's not it's not a label that but I don't understand that, because I just accept that and always have. Anyway, so thank you, speakers. Speaker Ferrandino, Speaker Hullinghorse, you could hear yelling down the hall. You could, if you served under her, you know what I'm talking about. Speaker Duran, and of course, our current speaker. They have a tough job. And, we may not like what they do. We may not like their politics. But you have to admit that they have a tough job. So thank you, all of the speakers. The sergeants, I have to say, especially Denny, because he's bailed me out more than once. And the testimony that I heard during my time here, I learned so much from Cherie. I'll never forget Cherie when we talked about birth certificates. That testimony just melted my heart. Running the wait list bill, which we hear about all the time, the wait list, we're going to get rid of the wait list. I ran the bill to get rid of the wait list, and somebody in here is going to have to continue that trajectory until those people are people who are waiting for services have those services. And I wanted to tell you another story. The thing I'm going to cherish most from my time here was one of my first bills, and it was on weeds, not marijuana, but real weeds. And after I ran that bill, I got a brand from my good friend Jim Wilson. It's on my wall. I have a lot of stuff in my room, a lot of, Legislator of the Year things, and like so many of you do. But that is the thing that I will always keep. And something you don't know about that man, he gave me a turkey. Hand, arm, foot, turkey foot. Well, when a turkey foot dries, apparently it dries in a particular, which I won't show you here, but you could come to my office and see. And I was a little shocked that our good Representative Wilson would give me this turkey hand, and I will also cherish that. But I may have to put it in a place where my grandson doesn't see it on a day-to-day basis. And I think you all saw him on the screen yesterday when we were voting. There were some bills that were very important to me. And I think that's really all I have to say. But thank you. It's been real. I've learned an incredible amount, met people that, I never thought I'd meet in my life. Representative Tatone, you are a wonderful woman, wherever you may be. I look forward to getting to know you better. And I hope that there are a lot of people on both sides that I'll keep in touch with. Thank you.
Representative Landgraf, don't take off yet. You have a plaque, and you hold so much respect in this chamber. You are going to be so sorely missed. You've been a great partner. We did bills together a few years ago, and your commitment to work on public health and issues affecting people with disabilities is amazing and deeply admired, and you've really made a lasting impact here. Being in the minority, which can be hard sometimes, and so I just want to say thank you for all of that.
I have to say the two bills that scared me the most was the one I ran with Madam Speaker, she wasn't Speaker then, and one I ran with Morgan Carroll, and they were two of the most impactful bills that I ran during my 8 years. Scary, but good.
Okay, Representative Catlin is going to speak on behalf of Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative, it's an honor to serve with you.
Yes, it is an honor to serve with you, too. Thank you. I'm a little bit rattled. I come down here today to speak about a man who's had a profound influence on me. And I didn't realize how profound it had been. But when he asked me to speak about him and speak for him, it froze me right up. And I don't get froze up too much. But one of the things that keeps coming into my mind is brevity, levity, and repetition. I've been lucky my whole life, and I want you to know how. I've had great mentors, I've had great bosses, I've had great parents. All of those things brought me here. But when I got appointed to the seat that I'm in, I was assigned to the seat where I'm sitting now. Little did I know, until about halfway through that session, that he was also my mentor. I mean, that's a good way to be a mentor, is don't tell the guy you're mentoring. Especially somebody who has heels as heavy as mine. But I've sat here and I've watched and I've listened and I've seen. I thought how lucky I am. He's my mentor. Then I realized he was also mentoring the whole building, the whole room. I see people come down and try to model themselves after him in the way he speaks and the passion that he holds. He's a man that can come down, offer a prayer, throw a joke, and still get by with the prayer. That's pretty special. I've learned an awful lot about education. Education of me, of the state of Colorado, and of the people that are around us. You know, I really don't have enough words to say about Jim Wilson. But I don't drive through his district that I don't say to my wife, well, here we are, Jim Wilson's district. And it's a big one. I'm telling you, it's halfway home. I mean, I don't know for sure how he can cover all of that, but he does. And he does it with love. It's easy sometimes to pop off, I love you. And we say that sometimes without really thinking about what the emotion is behind it. But I can honestly say to you that there are some things that I've learned that have helped me love him. I like him enough to love him, which is an interesting thing. I have to tell my wife sometimes, look, I like you. That's right, that's enough. But I can't love you if I don't like you. And this is something that I've learned from this man, is that it's easy to be likable. It's easy to be friendly. It's easy to carry a message where you don't have to strike the differences between us. He's taught me that I can be friends with people and maybe not even agree with them, which is a great lesson to learn. I thought maybe I knew that when I got here, but I didn't. Because passion carries us over the line sometimes. I have a hot temper, but I work really hard on holding that steady. And sitting beside Jim Wilson has taught me how to do that even better. He's a true professional, and in my world, being a professional is the highest compliment that I can give a person. When I sat down beside him, come to find out, he'd been a principal in my district. Come to find out, he'd been the principal in my wife's district. Now, a lot of times I've told my kids, coincidences are God's way of staying anonymous. And I believe that. It was a coincidence that I was sitting there, but I was brought there for a reason. I would hope, with everything in me as a legislator, that I can end up being a man and a legislator like Jim Wilson. Now, I'm setting my bar way high, but I want you to know that would be, for me, an accomplishment of a lifetime. Because I am truly proud of calling this man my friend. I've spoken to him so many times on the phone during COVID and all the other times that I've learned that this man is someplace I can go, and any one of us could go and ask, what do you think? And get a straight, honest, godly answer. That's incredible in this day and age. Jim Wilson, I'm very proud to know you, my friend, and I would like you to think that this whole building is proud to know you and is much better for you being here for the last 8 years. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mark. Madam Speaker, now I can say it has really been an honor serving with you.
Thank you, Representative Wilson. It has been my total pleasure to serve with you.
Well, I'm just glad that wasn't a eulogy. So this will be brief. there will be some levity. Go ahead and sit down, folks. This is a long day, I know. There will be some levity, but I won't repeat, so listen up. I want to offer some thank yous. Thank you to Christy, my wife, and my family. I have 4 daughters. Some of you may not know that. 40 years in education made this side of my beard white. 4 daughters made this side of my beard white. It's just the way it is. Raquel, Jenny, Casey, and Ramey. Those are my 4 girls. I have 2 sons-in-law, Johnny and Josiah. And I have 5 grandchildren. My oldest granddaughter, Alicia, is older than some of you in this chamber. I have Alicia, Kaylee. I have 2 grandsons. My second daughter broke the genetic chain. That would be Caden and Kyler. And then my youngest daughter that has my youngest granddaughter, which is Remy. Thanks to them for allowing me to serve. Many of you don't realize the price they pay for what we do here. The time lost is part of it. I know Representative Humphrey talked about the thin skin. That's a price that they pay for us as well. And that lost time can never be recovered, folks. So when you leave here, you make it up. You make it up fast. Thank you to my constituents who supported me for 8 years. It was an honor to serve them for 4 terms. Never had an interest in being in elected office. And then along came the vacancy, and Tom Massey was term limited, and here was a God-fearing, Bible-believing, gun-toting redneck Republican who can think that ran for that district, and they didn't know how an educator could be conservative. Thank you also to the sergeants and staff. What a great group of people that make us look good and keep us safe. What a deal. And as my brother James mentioned, for Kathy that just runs this operation and keeps everything going. It's amazing. Thank you to all my friends in this chamber, and you're all my friends, for putting up with me. I will miss you all. Admittedly, I'll miss some of you more than others. And strangely enough, thanks to the governor for declaring June the 3rd Kindergarten Day in Colorado. How cool is that? I served 8 years and never thought that would happen. And that proclamation is up on my wall at home above my desk. What a deal. Thanks to the good Lord for walking with me through this thing we call life. It's an incredible journey. You know, you think about the journey. I'm a barefoot kid growing up dirt poor on a farm in southern Kansas, thinking, someday I'm going to be in the House of Representatives in Colorado. No. It's amazing. It's amazing. The phrase I always like to use is, who would ever have thought? I don't know how many times I've told Christy that in the times we were driving, and many of you came in after she was my assistant in the office for quite a while, and we'd be driving to and from, and I said, who would ever have thought? Whether that would be a bill or working with people, just who would ever have thought? I've been so blessed. I just can't tell you how much I've been blessed. Colleagues, thank you for being a special part of my life. You know, in all probability, we wouldn't have met if it hadn't been for this. Even Representative Byrd, before she came here, I was a representative, so the superintendent in her school district called me in to sit on a panel. And there she was. And she said, I'm going to run for the House, Representative Wilson. And I said, well, with all due respect, I hope you don't win. But not seriously. I never had any desire to be a politician. Still don't. Always tried to be a statesman. And I hope I was successful in that quest. I was so disappointed. I can't tell you how disappointed I was when Colorado politics changed its name from the Statesman, because I think that's a sad commentary on what has happened. in the elected world. I will leave you with two things. One, the words from a well-known chorus, and the second, a quote from a famous American. This is the chorus. Now, I've had the time of my life. No, I've never felt like this before. Yes, I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you, because I've had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you. Now, that famous quote from a famous American, wait for it, Roy Rogers. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Thank you.
Representative Wilson, thank you for blessing this chamber with your presence and your wisdom more than anything, because I think when any of us think of you, we think of your wisdom. The stories you've told down at the well and your life experience has informed this entire chamber, not one side of the aisle, not one or two particular bills, but the entire chamber. So thank you for that. So Representative Kraft Tharp didn't want to have a moment here, but I do have a plaque for you. And she said she had her moment yesterday, so we'll honor your request. But thank you for all your service, Tracy. You've been absolutely amazing. Representative Buck, I'm not sure who's speaking on your behalf, but you're supposed to go next. Oh, it's Representative Neville. Okay, so we'll have Minority Leader Neville speaking on behalf of Representative Buck.
So when I came in, believe it or not, I actually had this parking space, and I parked in between Madam Speaker and Representative Buck. And I just got to say that Representative Buck always parked perfectly in the lines. Madam Speaker was like all over the place. There were some days I'd have to go park over the Buffalo. She'd be like way over the lines. So sometimes I guess she goes that far left because she was actually parked to the right of me and she'd go that way. But look, I came in, it almost reminds me of, being in Iraq, and we'd go forward and we'd move forward, and we'd usually have like route clearance ahead of us that would kind of help plow the way, and then we would kind of come in and accomplish the mission. And there's a bunch of legislators that are leaving us this year that I feel like they were almost my route clearance. They were kind of the beginning wave of folks that are leaving this year, and we're going to be without them next year. And Representative Buck is definitely one of those people. There's probably a reason Representative Del Grosso made her park right next to me, so that he made sure that she would keep me in lines. And then I also even had the office right next to her. So I think it was, and then I actually sat right where Representative Holtorf sits, and Representative Buck sat right next to me as well. And I think all that was by design. Now, being in leadership myself, I could probably see that he was thinking, oh gosh, how are we going to possibly keep this guy in line? And the only way he could do it is with a happy, incredible warrior like Representative Buck. We like to joke around and say that Perry's our hummingbird on Red Bull, because she's just filled with that energy that we all wish we had. I mean, no matter what's going on, it seems like she's just got this positive outlook, and she's willing to jump on something. It'll be late at night, and I'll just be barely dragging in, probably on like 4 or 5 Red Bulls myself. And Perry's just got all the energy in the world, and she's right there to support us. And if we need a whip count on something, man, it seems like she's got it turned around in like 10 minutes because she just scurries around and finds everyone rather quickly. And just having her energy and spirit on our side has just been absolutely great because we need it. You know, we can be a wily bunch of Republicans, that's for sure, but Perry's always kind of that positive, smiling person that we need. And I know Perry, you've gone through some life-changing things that hasn't always been great while you've served. No one ever really noticed that. You just kind of carried on and kept that smiling spirit about you. And I don't know how you did it. I mean, losing your mother, and you've gone through quite a bit. So, and again, you just always kept that smile, and you're starting to lose the smile, so don't lose the smile. I don't want to make you cry. But you've just been a total trailblazer, and I'm glad that I got to come in behind that trail that you blazed for folks like me, and all the work you've done since you've been the caucus whip for, gosh, what's it now? Almost 5-6 years now, and done an amazing work. And if we ever needed anything from you, whether it was trying to plan different events outside of this building, you were right there to do all the work and be there to help organize stuff and make phone calls. You've even opened up your own home to us several times, and it's amazing, you guys. She was gone because she was actually closing on her home this week, and she felt so bad about it. I'm like, Perry, it's okay. I think you've only missed a couple hours, maybe your whole time down here, and so it's totally amazing. But just want to let you know from my heart of my hearts personally that I am blessed and honored to have served with you. I think you're going to do a great job as a Weld County Commissioner, and I think our friendship will continue, but I don't know how I'm going to do the job without you here the next 2 years, but boy, have I been blessed the last 6 years to have you blazing that trail and you at my side and you being the ultimate wing woman. So thank you, Perry. God bless, and thank you so much for all your service.
Representative Buck.
Nuts. So, I feel like I've been through a lot of storms down here. And I don't know if I could have gotten through it if I hadn't had the family that I have down here. But I have to start with Meryl and the deputy, or the chief clerk. She was incredible. It's those people that can share stories with you and give you a hug and say, it's going to be all right. You'll get through this. I can't thank you enough for all the care and concern you gave me when I lost my mother. I couldn't have done it without you all. And honestly, I couldn't have done it without the sergeants, you guys, or my brothers. And I can't thank you enough for that. So, Jesus never told me who to love, because the number one virtue is love of everyone. And Patrick, I was incredible. Your comments mean the world to me. Your leadership means the world to me. And I want to thank all of you. And if I don't get off this microphone, I'm going to be a mess. So thank you all very, very much. It's been an honor to serve with all of you. I love you guys. Thank you.
I have to share one story. My first year in ag, and Perry was on the committee, and I'm Becker, she's Buck. And she usually would, see how I voted and then vote the other way. And so I went pass, and Perry went pass, and everyone on the committee decided to play a joke, and they all went pass. And then I voted, and she just wasn't sure what to do. And she kind of looked around, and everyone laughed because we were trying to put Perry in a really tough spot. And you finally voted. I think I actually voted the opposite way just to see what you would do. And it was one of those things that I, 7 years later, still remember. So it was super fun. Congratulations, Perry, on moving on, and good luck with your next job. And thank you for all that you've done. Representative Ransom is next on behalf of Representative Sane.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Back in 2013, I was a work-from-home mom. I still had a couple kids left at home, and I was watching what was going on down here. Back then I had a TV. I gave it up, but I did have a TV then. And I remember watching the news when a bunch of bills were happening, sometimes quite late at night. And there was this woman that I would see just asking questions and making statements. And she was bold, she was brave, she was fearless. She would get out there and ask questions. If you remember the political divide in 2013, there were a lot of changes happening in the state at the time. A lot of us were justifiably concerned. But I was watching this woman that had so much bravery and just wasn't going to let some of this happen. And if you don't know the name Kimberly Corbin, please Google her. She is now a friend of mine, Kimberly Corbin. She came here and testified looking for help on just some of what was happening in her life. She was a crime victim. So anyway, I just saw this people that were willing to come alongside and ask her the right questions so she could give the right testimony here in this body. And fast forward then, a couple years later, there was a vacancy in my district. A lot of us have come in on vacancy committees, and very unexpectedly, all of a sudden, I'm elected, got a badge, and I'm here, and I'm meeting this woman that I had been watching for a couple of years be so brave and be such a good example to me of what a legislator can do. Whether you're in the minority or not, there are things that you can do to effect change. And all of a sudden, I'm here, and next thing you know, this friend, Lori, is asking me, we're going off to a convention, and do we want a room together? And my goodness, all of a sudden I've got, I'm not going to say hero worshiping, but I will say that just this huge admiration that I had for someone that was just fearless. And here I am sharing a hotel room with her at a convention. I could ask her questions. I could talk to her. She would talk to me. I'm sure you've heard me up here many times talking about the Constitution, my love for it, my admiration of the founding fathers that fought and died for the Constitution that we now have sworn oaths to. We were talking one afternoon or evening, and I had a couple questions about some of what she brought through the Constitution to some of her beliefs. And a couple hours later, she comes back with a book that she had bought for me called Original Intent, because she wanted to make sure that I understood the original intent of the founding fathers, and she wanted to make sure that I was able to read this book, truly understand the things that I was asking her about. She answered the questions, but the book was wonderful as well. That way I could take it home. I still have that. I'm so glad. I should have made you sign it, but I didn't. But I'm so glad that I have that. That being said, throughout these years, I'm sure that I have seen Lori walk up here, and no matter which side of an issue you were on, when she would walk up, I think there were people on both sides of the aisle that would sit up straight and listen, because this is somebody that we want to hear. This is somebody, again, she's bold, she's brave. I remember, I always like my alliterations. I would see her at the Bible study downstairs on Tuesday mornings. I still wish we could have a bigger group down there. She's definitely a believer. She's been a good example to me of that as well, of how you can keep that here. I wanted to say, keeping with my B's, I'll stick with Bulldog, but at the same time, I need to branch off a little bit because she's a great mom, a loyal friend. She has your back. If you work on a bill with her, and I've seen it on both sides of the aisle, if she works on a bipartisan issue, she will have your back. She will have done the homework. She will be ready with bills. And again, I'm almost afraid that now that she's gone, we need some people that can come up and make these kind of speeches that she can make at the well, that she can make everybody in the entire chamber. I know how loud it is on second reading. You guys do too. But I see it on both sides, whether you guys realize it or not. You sit up and pay attention when this woman comes up here and talks. And I love seeing that on both sides, that in second reading we can really pay attention to debate. So with that, I will miss Lori a lot. But at the same time, we're going to stay in touch because she's going to be a commissioner up in Weld County. And I'm sure that there are times that she will come in and give us county issues that we need to know about as we continue our work here at the Capitol. So with that, I want to let Lori talk because I know that we're all going to sit up and listen and pay attention to what she has to say.
What is that? Representative Sane. Oh. So funny. Representative Sane.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members. I had to write this down so I would stay within my time limits today. It's a real honor to have my career eulogized by one of my favorite heroines in the legislature, Kim Ransom, because she's that mom that brings that kitchen table common sense to the state budget, and we are so grateful for her. Thank you, Kim. This, honestly, must be my top award from all my work here with you. And also, so fortunate to be here in an era of Susan Little and Robin and Marilyn and Kathy Hahn and our sergeants. It is an honor serving with you. So, as I think over my 8 years here, certain ideas and legislation jumps out, including my work on adoption issues with some of you that heretofore have been resolved for over 40 years. Mayor Williamson Webb had confided in me that he had tackled that Gordian knot when he was here in the House and received death threats. And of all the bills I run, that suite of bills that unlocked a past long sought after, or a medical history long needed, and a joyous reunion of mamas and daughters and sons and families who are seeking the lost part of their heart walking around outside of their body, always seeking, but couldn't navigate the barriers and layers of government. And now Coloradans have been found by families all over the United States and the world, and experienced a fulfilling connection they had long guessed at, and some didn't even know what an amazing gift had been waiting for them. I remember long nights with Representative Garnett, including Fridays, because in 2017, for 4 months, every night was construction defects night. And then watching everybody's faces at the aha moment when I drew the nexus of agreement on the whiteboard. That was an epic longitudinal scale of meetings where there was a setback every day, and it always seemed like that was the very last nail in the coffin of our endeavors. And after the bill passed, there was a celebration of sorts of the new Colorado state bird, the crane, that built and nested in the condominiums that were starting to climb the sky in Denver. I remember the DUI felony bill passed after that heavy lift had been accomplished, after 10 years of trying by victims and the families of those lost. to chronic drunk driving. That bill has protected scores of families in Colorado since enacted, families who have never had to know an empty seat at the table like my grandmother did. And on the lighter side, one scene I've never forgotten and probably will never forget was the standing ovation at the first annual chili cook-off. I know that COVID has squashed Rep. McKean's dreams of being a 3-time champion this year, and I hope that tradition continues next year. And Rep. Hooten told me she's already planning on my cameo. For my colleagues on this side of the aisle, I thank you for your trust in me and for all the times that we've worked on great policy together for the people of Colorado. I think we've crafted legislation on nearly every subject that can be crafted. Water law to keep more of our water here in Colorado rather than Nebraska, who never sends a thank you note. Judicial matters, streamlining children's health care, strengthening the underground pipeline safety, strengthening the rights of mineral owners, bills that keep Colorado #1 in the nation for hemp production and those innovative products, and honoring Gold Star families. Please keep that tradition alive. It means the world to them. And for my colleagues on this side of the aisle, thank you for the same, and thank you for your friendship and your long-suffering ear, and thank you for your trust in me as your Republican House Caucus Chair. It has allowed me great opportunities to be a moment maker, to create scenarios for us to meet and collaborate, for great policy, for solidarity, and for building relationships that will last well beyond our tenure here. And lastly, thank you to my husband and my daughter, Belle. They've been through a lot to keep me in service to the great people of House District 63. They're the true heroes in this fight, and also, lastly but not least, I want to thank my Lord Jesus for saving me and calling me to this work. And lastly, again, it is an honor serving with all of you over the years, and for those who have come and gone, both here and in the Senate. It has been the honor of my life serving in this chamber. And again, thank you so much for your confidence and trust in me. Thank you.
Representative Sane, if there's one word that I can use to describe you, that's not what I was going to say, but fierce. I mean, you're absolutely an amazing advocate. You will be in Weld County as well. I'm a little afraid being next door in Boulder County because of that. You and I did a bill years ago, and you were just the best co-sponsor with me that on almost any bill. And I want to thank you just because you were such a strong and fierce advocate, and absolutely trusted you completely in that process. So you've really left your mark on this chamber, and thank you for being a part of it. Okay, the next is Representative Exum. Where are you, Rep. X? Oh, there you are, right in front of me. Speaking on behalf of Representative Buckner, and I think Representative Mclaughlin might say something as well. Representative Exum.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, I want to thank Representative Buckner, who I call affectionately Miss Janet, for the honor to speak on her behalf. As many of you know, I came to this chamber in 2012 with her late husband, John Buckner, who we always teased about who was the real representative in the House. I miss him so much. I love almost everything about Representative Buckner, except I don't love the fact that she's leaving us. Rep. Buckner has been an amazing friend to me over these last few years in the legislature, and I'll always love her for that. Thank you, Ms. Janet. She's always been kind, patient, generous, and calm when not everyone else is. She laughs more often than everyone else does, which is a good thing. She's simply a good person. And I always love how she always has a story to tell. Every time she comes down to the well or speaks in the education committee, is to tell us of some amazing story from her personal history. It's always a good story, always a story full of wisdom, a story which teaches us something of value about that topic, and more importantly, about ourselves. Rep. Buckner has been an excellent legislator, making her district better in her constituents and making this House better for us all. I've loved her participation in and contributions to the Black Caucus, and I know that the rest of the caucus shares those good feelings for her. Now, despite being a very smart and beautiful woman, however, Representative Buckner has made a foolish decision to descend down into the Senate, proving that she's not perfect and can make mistakes. It will take time, but we'll forgive her for that because we love her so much. Ms. Janet, I love you dearly. Blessings to you. And this is how much I love you. This much. God bless you.
Representative Mclaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yeah, I get the other half of this time, so I'm happy to share. Janet Buckner, my friend. I have had the honor of being mistaken for Janet sometimes, a privilege that is both amusing and confusing. But I take it because Janet is one of the most gracious, classy, and
Did we lose you?
no, it came, oh, it's
There you
blinking.
You're good.
Maybe just talk loudly. Will that work? Can you hear, Janet? They cannot hear.
I heard the first couple of sentences.
Okay, Representative Mclaughlin is going to come down to the House floor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Mclaughlin.
Hi, Janet. All right, I'm back. Okay, because I take it because Janet is one of the most gracious, classy, and funny people I know. And I would love to be like her. Janet came here to take the place of her darling husband, John, but has earned her way through fierceness and sheer force to become a rock star in her own right. She is proof a legislator can be both extraordinarily kind and extraordinarily effective. We have shared hours of talk about education, dyslexia, health, family, and bad jokes to cement a friendship I hope will last forever. She has taught me so much about me and the world. Her speech on the floor yesterday resonated with all of us, and I hope someday we have a world of Janet Buckners, for it will be a world of hope, love, and gratitude. You're going all the way over to the Senate, but I will miss you in the House. We will all miss you. I love you, Janet Buckner.
Representative Buckner.
Hi. I love this view today. Well, hi. Oh, there's Lori. Hi, Lori. I love this view today because I can see a lot of you on the House floor, and that means so much to me. Tony, my special friend, thank you for that beautiful tribute. You have no idea what that means to me. And Barbara Mclaughlin, my friend, I don't know what to say. You really found the essence of me. I never expected to be a legislator. Never expected to be a legislator. Besides my family, Jay and his wife Erin, Jennifer and her husband Floyd, and my 3 beautiful grandchildren. Besides that honor, being a legislator has been the honor of my life. My parents, who only had a 6th grade education, always told me that I was destined for greatness. And this has been the greatest honor. If I had written my own life story, it would not have been this amazing. Grief brought me to the legislature and turned my focus from grief to purpose and turned my life around and gave me happiness that I didn't think I could have again. I want to thank God for making this change in my life. I have loved working with all of you. Every one of you has mentored me in some way or another. And that goes for both sides of the aisle. Thanks for mentoring me. And now I have made friends for a lifetime in this body. I can't say what I want to say to each of you individually, but there are a few special people that I want to thank. Casey, the fact that you chose me as Speaker Pro Tem speaks volumes about what you think about me.
Could you try again?
Oh, my Apple Watch said I didn't get that. Casey, your choosing me as Speaker Pro Tem speaks volumes about your love for me and your confidence in me. Alec Garnett, you're like another son. You are the most supportive person I have ever met. We text each other a lot. Marilyn, Robin, Kathy, Jody, the sergeants have been so special to me in ways that many of you don't know. Brandon Davis, my aide, who is phenomenal, is like a son. And even though he was a full-time student and he just graduated with a 4.0, he did everything he could to make me successful. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention Brandon Davis today. I'm going to see you from the Senate, and I am determined that we are going to change the Senate and make the culture there better and more inclusive. So you can't get rid of me. And for those of you I was not able to co-sponsor bills with, you're going to have that opportunity when I go over to the Senate. I think I've made a difference in the House of Representatives. I know I have. And I'm going to continue to keep making a difference to make this world a better place. And this has been such an honor. I wish I could be there with you. Thank you for remote testimony. And my 2 doctors that I saw this week said, tell the legislature, thanks for letting you work remotely so we can keep Janet healthy and safe so I can continue doing what I was destined to do. I love you all. Thank you so much. And I've never cried this much.
Janet, your presence in this chamber and in this state have made both a better place. You've definitely left a mark, and the Senate is so lucky to have you. Your graciousness, your experience and wisdom, and your heart made you an easy choice for Speaker Pro Tem. I love you, Janet, and I have loved working with you. It's an absolute pleasure and honor, so thank you.
Thank you.
I'll leave your presents on your desk. I don't
Presents, yay.
Okay.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. I'm very emotional today. I love you, Janet Buckner. But I love all of you. I love, this chamber. We come in 2-year waves where we build a family, we build a culture. We don't always agree. No family ever does. But you leave lasting impressions on that family, and everyone who's leaving, you'll be sincerely missed, and thank you so much for your service. I have the honor of speaking about Madam Speaker, who our friendship goes way back. From when she was running in her vacancy committee to when we were sitting on the finance committee together, where we discussed so many issues around marijuana. And the funniest story from that finance committee was when Dan Pabon was trying to get rid of gummy bear-shaped edibles, and somebody came in and passed around a plate of all of these candy-shaped infused marijuana edibles. And it got back to the witness, and the witness is like, there's like 3 pieces of candy missing. Because the committee had passed the plate around. It was Representative Arndt. For 5 years, I've wondered, who was it? It was Representative Arndt. That was amazing. That's amazing. But Casey and I sat next to each other, Madam Speaker and I sat next to each other, and that's where I was first exposed to one of the smartest, most talented policymakers I have ever seen in this building. If you could retire bill numbers and put them in the rafters of this building, 3 of those bill numbers would have Madam Speaker's name on them. It would be Senate Bill 267, the hospital provider fee, arguably one of the biggest, most impactful pieces of legislation that this body has seen in a very long time, impacting communities far and wide. A deal that was so far from coming together that by the time it finally did, there was organizations from each region of the state pleading and begging for this capital to act, and working with Senator Sonnenberg, you guys were able to deliver. Senate Bill 267, you can say that bill number and people know what it is. 200, Senate Bill 200, the Parabill. The Parabill, not only is it going to have a lasting impact for thousands of people across the state and pulled our pension system up from what could have been a disaster place. It was an example of what other states are unable to do, but it also passed at 11:58 on CNADA. I mean, literally at the last second. I actually didn't vote for it, and and Madam Speaker looked at me and was like, It's the only time she's ever actually been mad at me. And she was like, and she said a few choice words, and I won't forget that either. Dylan reminded me the other day of those choice words. Senate Bill 181. I know there wasn't, as much bipartisan consensus on that piece of legislation, but it was complicated, it was hard, and Madam Speaker, it wouldn't have happened without you. Those are three of the most complicated, challenging pieces of legislation that this Capitol has ever tried to act on, and it wouldn't have happened without the pure talent that you brought to the table, and we're so lucky that you were at the helm on those challenging situations. But you also guided this body through, as Majority Leader, a very challenging situation that didn't have to do with policy. It had to do with changing culture of this building, and it had to do with trying to to break down the hierarchy, the power hierarchy that exists in this building, and to reestablish respect. And anyone who was here for that will never forget how hard that was and how much time you put into that and how you tried to guide everything to a place of fairness. And so thank you so much for that. I was Assistant Majority Leader under Madam Speaker, and so I sat where Chris sits, and she was sitting in seat number 7. And I watched the challenges that come with being Majority Leader. And I watched the challenges that come from having a relationship with the Speaker that isn't open and inclusive and communicative. And all I can say is, as our relationship has grown, you've really become a mentor for me. I want to thank you, and I really think the Chamber should thank you for your willingness to change that type of relationship, to open up the relationship that the Speaker has with the Majority Leader, to be communicative, to be a partnership, to be working together, because it's better for the Chamber, it's better for the institution, and it certainly is better for me personally. You really showed me what it means to help sort of guide a big body with diverse views, and I'm so very, very thankful for our friendship, for your mentorship. I'm not exactly sure with all of the people that are leaving this year, what next year is going to look like. But Madam Speaker, you have left your imprint on this state, on this chamber. You have built a legacy, and you will be sorely missed.
Representative Hooton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. Madam Speaker, on behalf of our entire caucus, we present you with the gift that we all believe represents really who you are. Just a lot of love and passion and just enough fear to keep us all in line and on our toes. And that exemplifies great leadership. You are a great leader. And I have just been so honored, and I think everyone will join me in this sentiment, so honored to be a member of your caucus that you've led. And it's just been a real privilege, and you have accomplished great things. And I can think of some other things I might not want to name, bills that you have been behind that have been very meaningful, at least for our caucus. And so with that, it's, as Representative Wilson said, happy trails, and I'm very fortunate that we will be able to cross paths in Boulder. And God knows how many commissions you're going to be on now.
Come here.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. It's so weird to be here doing this, because I remember coming in, and I remember Ferrandino doing his speech, and Dickie Lee Hollinghorst and Crisanta, and it seems like like 2 weeks ago, that I was listening to Ferrandino and Dickie Lee doing their closing remarks. It goes so quickly, and it has been the absolute honor of a lifetime to serve in this chamber. We are so privileged, each and every one of us, to be given this opportunity for people to show their faith in you and your wisdom and your knowledge and your effectiveness. It's just such an incredible experience. It's obviously amazing being speaker and amazing being majority leader, but something that goes away when you are given those opportunities is the opportunity to serve on committees. Because that's where you get to make so many friendships and you get to know people so intimately in their very best moments and in their very worst moments. And whatever side of the aisle, I mean, truly, I will never forget serving on Ag with Lori and Perry, and serving on Finance with Alec and Pabon and Lois Court. And those friendships are so unique and so important to understanding the state of Colorado. Because one thing that's so special about doing this is that everyone comes from a different part of the state and brings a little bit of that flavor of that place. And that diversity of opinion and experience and background and viewpoint is what makes this place so special. And hopefully helps us make better decisions. But getting to know each of you, the little things that make you tick, it's amazing to do the policy work. But that chance to get to know you, who I wouldn't get to know, I'm not going to see Patrick ever in Boulder, I'm guessing. Each one of those friendships and each one of those interactions is a gift. And whether you're fighting over a bill or, just frustrated with something someone's doing, you still have this opportunity in this place to make change for the world, to make change for this state, but to get to know all these people that you may not otherwise, and it's just so amazing. So I just want to say I've loved getting to know each one of you, no matter what your viewpoints are. I'm so appreciative of that. I'm appreciative to be able to serve my community and be given the chance to have the input that I've had. There's a old saying that is, I wake up each day wondering if I want to savor the world and save the world. And if you can strike the balance in this chamber where you can do both, where you can work to save the world in whatever vision that is for you, but also still enjoy your time here, you have mastered the process of legislating, because it can beat you up. So honor the experience and the friendships and the times that you have here, because it's absolutely amazing and it goes by so quickly. I want to thank the amazing staff members that I've worked with. Kelly Watkins is the epitome of professional and talented and hardworking. It has been an absolute honor to have you leading this team, because you do such an amazing job. And Carlin and Nina, we all have so much fun together, and your support has made a difference for me, but for everyone here, because it couldn't happen without you. You guys have been absolutely amazing. So thank you. One of the things that I wanted to do becoming speakers is just build a really strong staff that supported our entire caucus, and they have absolutely done that, and you all have incredible careers in front of you, every single one of you. So thank you for working so well, so hard, so diligently, so effectively, so smartly for our entire caucus. My sons, Leo and Ryder, they're 8 and 12, and they are so ready for me to be done with this job. Miles is too, and then he's going to have me home all the time, and then he's going to be ready for me to get a different job, I'm sure. But their sacrifice, the sacrifice that every one of our families make, is enormous. And it's an incredible opportunity to do this, but it takes a team. And so for Miles and Leo and Ryder, who are absolutely not watching this, I don't think you've ever turned on the Colorado channel, but I'm going to record it and find it and say I'm so thankful you guys have given me the opportunity and support. It means the world to me. I've talked about the friendships I make here. So many of us have jobs that we come and go from, and it's hard to know in each of those professional relationships we have which ones are truly valuable friendships. Every single one of you is so valuable to me, and I hope we all stay in touch, because it's just a pleasure to have worked with you all and see you all develop your strengths and your approaches. And I hope I've had an impact, because you all have had an impact on me. I mean, I am going to be remembering the little phrases from Jim Wilson years and years down the road, and Mark Catlin just teasing me when I wasn't paying close enough attention at the mic. People that I probably won't see again. It's just, it's amazing to work with you all. I sometimes feel like we're, this strange cast of characters in a movie, and you don't know how the story's going to end when you start, and we certainly didn't expect things to go this way this year. But it's just a total pleasure and an honor. I'm going to miss it very much. I have no idea what I'm going to do next, except take a lot of vacations and do a little bit more of the savoring of the world rather than my version of saving the world. But you all are blessed to be in the position of serving. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve this chamber, to work with you all. Thanks for continuing to make the change that you're going to make, because I know each of you is trying to make Colorado a better place. Thank you, Alec, because it has been always so fun and so collaborative. I mean, I sat there for 2 years and just constantly little whispering over to Alec about every little thing, and now we just do it in a different place. It's over in my office, and we talk about everything, and it's such a pleasure to have that friendship and collaboration. It's meant the world to me. So thanks again, everyone, for giving me this opportunity, and I'm going to miss you all. And I'm going to come back and sit over there and try and not be bossy when I do or opinionated. But thank you once again. It's a total pleasure. And I also want to say, Representative Buckner, thank you for being my Speaker Pro Tem so supportively and lovingly and effectively. I love you. I love each one of you. So thanks again.
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
I can't believe I didn't break down in total tears during that. Representative Hooton.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'm sure on your way home you probably will. Members, a couple of things. Last night, our caucus, Democratic caucus, had a big Mediterranean buffet, but it got kind of late, and so we have quite a bit left over, and we welcome the entire chamber to join us. The food is in the break room, so if anyone's got an appetite for day-old Mediterranean buffet, please help yourselves. The second thing I'd like to do, as you clean up your offices, please don't forget, and this is a den mother and me, to clean out your refrigerators and unplug them.
So thank you very much, and hope to see you in the breakout room.
You all were not done yet, by the way. There are few more bills in the process, so we're going to do some more business. First, message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has concurred in House amendments to Senate Bill 2041-185-055.
Message from the Senate will be printed in the Journal. Message from the Advisor.
To the House of Representatives.
Message from the Advisor will be printed in the Journal. Members, Representative Valdez A., is he in the chamber? Oh, there you are. So the Senate has voted to adhere to its position in Senate Bill 51. So we'll have to take that up to figure out what you want to do. The Senate has, The Senate has voted to not concur in House amendments to Senate Bill 205 and request that a conference committee be appointed. Representative Neville, I need to know who your conferee on 205 will be. That's the paid sick bill. Or Representative Larson. So the conferees are myself, Representative Caraveo, and Representative Larson. And for the Senate, it's Senator Fenberg, Bridges, and Smallwood. All right, with that, I think the House will stand in a recess. We're waiting some business happening from the Senate. And I think we will end up doing a call of the House later today. So do you want to, Representative Kennedy?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Before I make the recess motion, I would ask that all the members that we just did tributes to gather in front of the screen so we could do a group picture of you all, and we're also going to isolate Representatives Buckner and Melton on the screen. And with that, I move that the House stand in recess until later today.
Seeing no objection, the House will be in recess till later today.